Hello and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm joined by Vladyslava Rutytska, Ukraine's Deputy Minister on European Integration at the Ministry of Agriculture. Vladyslava.
Hello.
Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We wanted to get an update from you on progress on the so-called New Silk Road. This is a new trade route, to put it in its simplest form, going from Ukraine all the way to China and avoiding Russia. But perhaps just for our viewers who aren't so familiar, just flesh that out a little bit for us. Tell us a little bit more about this trade route and why it was established.
First of all, we should understand that New Silk Road will exist, nevertheless, of our desire. So it's a really essential geopolitical project, and also the dealing with the international economy. So at least 5 big world players like China, European Union, then Asia countries, biggest Asia countries, and furthermore North America are really keen on this project. So that's why it's really essential for us to understand that Ukraine actually could take this chance, and in case we will be active and in case we will be flexible in this, it will be possible for us to connect North Europe, then via us go straight to the Georgia, then even Turkey, Iran, where now sanctions actually are going out. Then reverting back from the Georgia, it's Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, and then finally China.
So yeah, I mean, so there's huge potential here for, I mean, many directions this could go: Middle East, Far East.
Yes, like this and
Europe.
vice versa. Yes,
absolutely. And so, did this come about? I mean, I'm wondering here, what is the link between events in Ukraine over the past 2 years and the establishment of this route? Because of course we have the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and so relations between Ukraine and Russia are obviously very historic lows. Trade between the two countries is coming under strain with sanctions from both sides. So is that why this route was established now, in the sense like the wider geopolitical factors came together and therefore this route suddenly became viable? Is that a good interpretation?
Yes, actually we were going to this project last years. In case we'll compare our trade partnership with Russia in the recent years, starting from 2011 till 2014, we were actually downsizing up to the $10 billion. And starting from 2014, 2015, it decreased dramatically. So in case we are talking about the Russia share in agricultural export, it's approximately 2%. And finally, let's say like the end of this, at the 1st of January, we faced the embargo from Russia. So Ukraine was thinking and also having consultation before this period of time with the understanding how to implement this New Silk Road project into our agricultural logistic first of all, and also to create this logistic hub for the, as I said before, for the other countries. Actually, to be the country to go through with the export, and as well to use our goods to sell to China. In case we are talking about current situation, you know that before the new year we were actually trying to send our first train, and to understand in terms of the calculation of the days that needed, and also prices.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about that. So, I mean, where we are now is that the first train did set off from the Black Sea coast in Ukraine. It was the 15th of January, if I'm not mistaken. 15th of January, the first shipment took off. It made it to China in about 15 days.
Yes,
that's right.
We expected to have less amount of days because actually this train actually really needed for the products that should have a really short period of time for this export. For example, when we entered the market of China with the milk products. We obtained the permission to go there in the very end of the summer 2015. It was necessary for us to have this pure calculation of the days.
Yes.
And actually, with such a products, it's necessary to have up to 12 days in during all the way to reach the final destination. It's not possible to use the, let's say, sea roads because, for example, with the grains, you can use it freely with relevant prices for the agri-logistics, but it takes up to the 30 days to go from Odessa then to some ports in China. So that's why for products that are really necessary to bring in a really short period of time, it's necessary to have this logistics.
Do you see that happening? I mean, like, of course, because at the moment it took 15 days. That's obviously too long for certain types of products, like, as you say. So what are the prospects for shortening that
we
period
were
of
discussing
time?
together with the Ministry of the Infrastructure. Actually, even in this first trial situation, it was possible to make it in a days a little bit less. So some technical problems appeared in the different countries, so that's why it was necessary to solve this. Right now we have these trains standing at the border of Kazakhstan and China, and actually it's necessary to consider how to load with the goods and send back to Ukraine.
Yes.
But all these things like days and also prices and agreements with other countries, I would like to say that it's technical details that we should resolve, because otherwise we could not use this way. It was really essential to show to other countries and to other partners that for us it's possible to go through this way.
Yes.
It was essentially to show that we able to send our goods and also other goods that could go through Ukraine to final destination in China.
So, you think then the fact that this first shipment has been completed is in itself a major achievement, and this is the most important thing here. The fact of the actual amount of time, the cost, I mean, these are more specific details which in time will be figured out. So the fact that this actually did happen and relatively successfully, I mean, has that made a big impression on European countries and North America, for example? Are they looking at this as a success?
Actually, we are not talking about success or not success. We are talking about the ability. So for the other partners in the existing situation, when you could not sell your products and to bring it through Russia, it's necessary to have other ways. It was absolutely necessary to show the ability to use other countries, other destinations, other partners in this regards, and to solve the problem. So by this fact, we were actually showing ability to solve this problem. Right now, it's a new Silk Road under, let's say, under construction still, because other countries taking part in this, other companies that serving these needs in railway activities and grain hoppers and wagons and so on. Also ferries in the seas.
Sure.
So it's necessary to connect all of them to solve in regards of the costs, tasks that connected to the costs, and then to understand how we can make it faster.
Sure, sure. Vladyslava, I understand. Sorry to interrupt you. No, I mean, I think there's obviously many players here involved, many countries. Of course, it will take time to iron out all the details. But just, I'm afraid we're almost out of time. But I just wanted to ask, in the European Union, sanctions against Russia are going to come up again for renewal in July of this year. Many do say that there are countries who hope that the sanctions won't be renewed and that trade relations with Europe, perhaps North America, might improve between Russia and the West in that case. Does that worry you at all? Perhaps just as a final thought then, going forward, I mean, if the West does start to have better ties with Russia, the new Silk Road, that could suffer, could it not?
Actually, these connections will be working. Nevertheless, we will have more good relations or not good relations. You know, for the foreign partners, it's really necessary to have a stable connections. Connections that work not only by the fact we have good connections, a good relationship, or we do not have good relationship. They would like to have absolutely understandable way how to sell the goods and understandable prices. So once again, I would like to stress out, by this fact it was necessary for us to show that Ukraine could be like a logistic hub for the European Union partners and to have these destinations. So in case any kind of the relationships would be better or not be better. So we should use and we should rely on the future. In case by our role we will show ability to serve the needs of other partners as well as for our agricultural producers, then we will not so be dependent on the fact of the good relationships or bad relationships. So every time I think that we should rely on our capacities and on our goals and also to find the solutions to serve these needs. By the fact, by discussing with the partners, with the countries, how to downsize these tariffs, then how to speed up this road, what's necessary to bring to other infrastructure, maybe some kind of the additional reload stations or some kind of the additional railway connections, something like this.
I'll have to stop you there, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, we are out of time. But it is a process very much on the go. And of course, Ukraine, we do hope, will become that hub for global trade. My thanks to you for joining us here today in the Viewpoint studio.
Thank you.
You've been watching Viewpoint. I've been joined by Vladyslava Rutytska, Ukraine's Deputy Minister on European Integration at the Ministry of Agriculture. That's all we have time for today. Do join us again.